My name is originally Joshua Kenneth Gray, but most people refer to me as JahJah. This is where I do most of my painting. Um, it's an old garage that I turned into a studio space. Um, I've been painting here for like the past 2 years, on and off here and there. Right now, painting is my focus, but I have I spend a lot of my time drawing, doing using pencil and pen on paper. Uh, I don't do a lot of photography or even sculpture or anything three-dimensional. It's mostly drawing and painting at the moment. Well, um, I mean, growing up, I was always encouraged to keep painting or keep drawing. Um, but I guess I can say that through all my like training or whatever in school and just being on my own with my art outside of school, like I don't think it came until like a couple of years ago, um, when I just kind of decided to throw everything I knew about making art or thought I knew and just kind of create my own way of doing it. Um, so I kind of just neglected everything I've learned and freed my hand up, and like a lot of the art that I was making looked sort of childlike. And then the more I did it, the more organized it became, and it sort of evolved into this thing that you see now, something that's based off of like intuition and free form and spontaneity. Through the development of this process, like the development begins inherently as a free flowing thing, and the more I spend not being concerned with where I'm going, like the more things are shown to me, and like these processes that come out of not having any, um, having little control over what's next. Um, like I create processes just out of that. So sort of like each new thing that I do or each new and like process that I try or come across, you know, is like one extra thing I have in sort of like my database of processes and things I can do. Um, so I don't know. They kind of inform each other. The free flowing and the more compositional aspect. So there's a feeling, and it's that feeling that I've been chasing, and that like 2 years ago I finally found that I was able to channel um, at will whenever I picked up any type of writing or creating utensil. But it's like a feeling of there's a feeling of like that this could go on forever unstopped without any type of like boost or help from any outside anything, and it could like sustain itself forever without like dying out. Like just that feeling of like infinity or forever existing. Um, and when I'm in that zone, it's like each like brushstroke is um, could be the equivalent to like an inhale or an exhale, and like you can actually create on a piece of paper or a canvas the same as you can like create like a dance piece or like a whole theater. You know, me personally, I mean, I feel like um, when it comes to like energy and these concepts such as like spirit, I think like when you're creating, when you're drawing, when you're painting, you're engaging in a form of meditation. And meditation in most religions has been proclaimed to be the one thing that you can do to tap into like a universal energy field, or see everything as one, you know. And I have a feeling that you know, maybe when you create, you connect yourself to that, and that's, I mean, one of the biggest aspects of creating is just being present in the moment that you're doing it. I don't know. Usually when I think of like people who inspire me, it's I mean, it's not necessarily the work of these people that inspires me. It's really like the work ethic, like to see how these people live their lives or went about creating whatever it is they create, and just looking at what was produced based off of how much energy and time was put into it, and it's really that I'm inspired about when it comes to other people. When it comes to techniques, I don't have very many people who have influenced me. I mean, I have looked to Escher before, and I've seen like similarities in how geometry is used. And as far as subject matter, I mean, I'm not really influenced by many other artists when it comes down to subject matter. I tend to pull like from ideas that I come up with and things that are inside of me. There are particular symbols that I've used though. And I guess I have like this sort of database of symbols that I've created and that I've borrowed. One symbol is the there's this symbol, the symbol of a bull, and that's something that another artist, Uriel Landeros, uses. It's also something that Picasso used. I also have imagery of birds. A symbol I use pretty frequently is the symbol for a woman. It's like a upside down triangle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of the symbols are personal, especially my logo here. That's a very personal symbol. Then there's some here is like more conventional symbols, like infinity sign, a cross, a star. Here's one for water, wind. The circle inside of a circle is a common one. I don't know, like when I'm journaling, when I'm working in my journals, I I have thoughts or whatever. I watch my thoughts or whatever. I record them, and sometimes I think about symbols, or I have to write down a slogan or just some sentence that I think of, and in a way I use that as a reminder, like, so these words that I come up with become symbols, or I have these symbols that are ultimately assigned, a word or a phrase, and then ultimately I just write the symbol and I know what's associated with it, right? So that it quietly sort of informs me every time I see it. Well, I had this idea of like, so I was in Ghana for 2 months, and there's like just religious, like Christian religious propaganda everywhere, and like corporate propaganda everywhere, like things on billboards that are just very Christian or very corporate, and so like one idea that I really, I don't know. I don't know when, how far in the future I'll be able to do this, but I would want to like basically do a campaign where I'm wheat pasting and putting up my own billboards and pieces all around Ghana that just sort of combat those ideas presented in the religious propaganda and the corporate billboards. Recently, I've been collaborating with a few people, Nina, Marinick, and Juan Carlos. Been collaborating with them. But also, before that, with Uriel Landeros, he's in jail right now. He's serving for spray painting a Picasso piece. He'll be out in November of this year. And I don't know the details of our collaboration, but I will definitely be collaborating with him when he gets out. We started a group, a collective of artists called Anunnaki, and right now we're currently writing our mission statement that will be releasing. And in that statement, it'll have explanations about the future objectives of our group. We have a mission to combat as much as we can with what's in our power, our creative power, our creative abilities to combat the brainwashing that's going on here in America. And we have a mission to do what's best, what we can best do in our abilities to raise awareness of the situation of not only the United States but also of the whole world. And a lot of these things that we want to promote and that we want to push are things that a lot of people are aware of, but then there's a lot of people who aren't aware of it, and there are people who are aware of it who don't necessarily find that it's something in their power that they can do to help, or maybe they just don't care about the current situation of the world. Well, I just did a mural at the Silo over by last concert. They have different events there. And November, I'm going to be doing a collaborative show with Juan Carlos and Nina Marinick at Cons. So that's going to be November. What else?
Does Juan Carlos have an art gallery?
He has an online gallery. It's called omniartgallery.com. OmniArtGallery.